Hi, this is Nick Walker, and I'm here to present my affirmative on the topic um, about the United States federal government should increase its development of the Earth's moon in one or more of the following areas, and that is energy, minerals, and/or water. I am going to affirm that the U.S. government should increase its development in the area of energy on the moon for the following reasons. Reason number one is energy poverty. So, energy poverty just means that there is a severe lack of energy in the world. Nearly 1.6 billion people still live with no access to electricity, as stated by the International Energy Agency. The Global Burden of Disease 2010 study estimated that due to lack of modern energy, unsafe cooking techniques are used. Fumes from unopened cooking fires killed about 4 million people, and this is more than double the amount that attributed to malaria and HIV and AIDS all in 1 year. So it's a significant amount of people that are dying due to energy poverty. It shortens work days and forces women and children to collect fuel instead of engaging in income generating activities. It also keeps the children from going to school and developing their educations. As the world becomes more technologically advanced, the gap between the energy poor and the developed world will increase, thus making it even harder for those left behind to rise out of poverty. The UN Sustainable for All Initiative Global Tracking Framework states that although 1.7 billion people gained access to electricity between 1990 and 2010, this is only slightly ahead of the population growth of 1.6 billion over the same period. The pace of expansion will have to double in order to meet population demand by 2030. In order to stop the deaths and health issues caused by energy poverty, there will need to be an abundance amount of energy created. Reason number two is sustainable development. Sustainable development balances current needs with the needs of future generations. According to Huffington Post, attempting to meet 100% of the population's needs with today's polluting technologies will very likely threaten, if not succeed, to push global temperatures above 2 degrees. This presents a problem. If enough energy is made to keep up with the entire population, we will then take the risk of increasing the climate and ultimately cause irreversible changes to our ecosystem and environment. UnitedNations.org stated, without urgent action on climate change by the international community, humanity may face a grim future. The International Government Panel on Climate Change called for significant reductions of greenhouse gas emissions, which have recently increased to dangerous levels due in part to an over-reliance on CO2 emitting fossil fuels and under-reliance on renewable energy resources. So again, just shows that the pollution is the main problem here. Sustained economic growth and sustainable development are dependent on the development of sustainable energy sources. So there you go. Without energy, our economy would not grow. Energy renaissance already has become the catalyst for economic growth, bringing affordable energy, jobs, revenues, and an accompanying resurgence for manufacturing. Competition for energy resources will only grow as the world's population expands and incomes rise, increasing global energy demand. it's critical for the U.S. to stay competitive in the energy race, but in order to do so, they will need to find an alternative method of energy to meet today's and the future's needs. This will stimulate economic growth, provide more jobs, and promote development without harming the environment. Luckily, there are some solutions that the moon can offer, and the first solution is the lunar ring. The lunar ring is a concept to create energy for Earth using the moon. According to NASA, the lunar ring concept is electrical power generated by a belt of solar cells around the lunar equator and can be transmitted and beamed to Earth from the near side of the moon. The lunar ring concept could meet the entire world's energy needs and provide 24/7 continuous clean energy generation, potentially ending our reliance on limited natural resources. So the lunar ring can create more power for the world, decrease energy poverty, provide an abundance of sustainable, non-polluting energy, which is what we need to continue to be sustainable, ensure that there will be enough energy for future demands, and this will help us increase our development in the future and our technology. The other option is helium-3. Helium-3 is a non-radioactive isotope of helium, and it can be used as an alternative fuel source to create energy. There's an abundance of helium-3 right now available on the moon. It is dumped onto the moon's surface by solar winds. Helium-3 could be used in clean fusion plants to generate energy. According to Inhabitat.com, 25 tons would be enough to power the U.S. for an entire year. There's enough helium-3 on the moon to produce energy on Earth for the next 10,000 years. At $3 billion per ton, helium-3 would have a serious economic value because it would only take $25 billion to power the U.S. for an entire year, and that's relatively cheap. So all in all, helium-3 is cost effective. It obviously has lower energy costs and can stimulate the economy. It's clean energy, it's non-radioactive, and can be used to replace nuclear power plants, and we can not have to worry about nuclear spills and get rid of the other dangers that they present. U.S. would have a higher gross domestic product output due to its increase in available natural resources, and again make us a world leader. With the potential that helium-3 and the lunar ring present, it's obvious that the United States federal government should increase the development on the moon.